Hey there everybody, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. When we last left off, we fought the guard armor over at Traverse Town. We came across, of course, our friends here, Donald and Goofy, and we were about to head into the gummy ship to take off to our next world. So, like I said last time, the game is about to open up substantially. Also, made a bit of adjustment. Last time I didn't realize that my face camera was covering my little health bar over in the lower right corner, so that's been fixed. We'll go over what that looks like in a minute. Right now, though, we're about to jump into the gummy missions. So these are... the gummy ship is sort of a contentious point, I think, of Kingdom Hearts. They're pretty much on-rail... I guess you can say on-rail shooters. Kingdom Hearts 2 is much more on-rail, but basically it almost feels like a little mini-game in order to travel to different worlds. So what's cool about this is that you can select which world you want to go to next. So you see at the top there it says battle level, and it tells you this one is battle level 1 star, so relatively easy, and this one battle level 2 stars. Again, pretty easy, but a touch harder than the first one. I like to go in the order of the battle levels when I can, so we're going to jump over to this top one the first time, and we'll be on our way. We travel different worlds on the gummy ship. The Heartless shifts often give us a hard time. Always be on the lookout during flight. The journey will be documented until you reach your destination. Seek out the missions each world has to offer. So that's more like trophy stuff with missions. I'll probably do that on my own time, but we'll see. If you guys really want to, I'm sure we can do it on stream here. So, pretty simple. When we have this initial gummy ship, especially for these first few missions, a lot of that on the right doesn't mean much. So on the right there, where our health gauge is normally, we have an power gauge and an armor gauge. The one that we're really concerned with at the moment is the armor gauge, because that's pretty much is your health. Power gauge comes into play later when we're talking about things like you can kind of remake your gummy ship and upgrade your gummy ship to have things like missiles and warp and things like that. But for now, pretty much all we have is our one little laser here, which I pretty much hold down the entire time and blast everything out of the sky. What's funny with the gummy ship missions, for me at least, is that so the gummy ship controls, at least by default, are inverted. And what's interesting about that for me is that basically the gummy ship has ruined all ability for me to fly or do any sort of pilot missions in other games so the controls aren't inverted, because I'm just so used to them at this point. So, yeah, you can kind of see why the gummy missions are a little sort of, I guess, mixed reactions among fans, because especially when compared to the rest of the game, obviously they're very different, but also they can be a little boring at times, because pretty much you're just holding down O, shooting everything in sight, and racking up some points. So, you saw before there were missions. After you complete a gummy mission to a place... Ooh, crash into that. You can then do specialty missions from place to place. But we've arrived at our first destination here. Wonderland. So we're going to jump into Wonderland here. So this is our first Disney location. There it is. Goofy just chilling on the way down. Rough landing, though.
Oh, my favorite whiskies! I'm late! Oh dear! Oh I'm here! I should be there! Oh, I'm late! Oh, the queen! She clapped my head for sure!
Alrighty, so here we are in Wonderland. White Rabbit is, of course, very late. So we're gonna go follow him. We're gonna see what he wants. I'm gonna check out the doorknob once.
No, you're simply too big.
That talks!
Must you be so loud? You woke me up.
Good morning.
Good night. I need a bit more sleep.
Wait, what do we have to do to grow small?
Why don't you try the bottle? Over there.
Alright, so we're going to grab this bottle here to shrink ourselves. Oh, there we go. So what's interesting about Kingdom Hearts, or I guess one of the many things interesting about Kingdom Hearts, is that obviously you have the overarching story, which, you know, many people complain, and usually rightfully so, that it is wildly confusing. But what's interesting is that when you go to these Disney worlds, a lot of times the main story sort of gets put on hold. For the most part, occasionally they'll overlap a little bit. Like we'll see in this world, there's a little bit of overlap. But for the most part, you're pretty much playing... Oh, is this guy not letting me in? Oh, I think I know what I gotta do. But, for the most part, you're pretty much playing through the story worlds. Well, these are some new enemies. These are red crimsons, I believe they're called. That'll be the fun part as we go along to see if I can remember all these names of various Heartless. But basically, they are elemental enemies. They try to shoot you with fire. Still, we're not going to be coming across too many wildly strong enemies yet. As you saw, I just took a shot there and really didn't do much to my health. Goofy just attacking that guy. Ah, see, that reminds me, because Goofy just threw out, I think it was an ether, so I'm actually going to check what items they have on them, if any, and I'm just going to take those, because typically the computer characters sort of do whatever they want with their items. They don't use them the best way, so typically you're better off just taking them. Alright, I think I know what to do here, because I can't get through the door, but I think there's another way in there, and we're going to check it out real fast. I think... There we go. And now, if we shrink ourselves... So, Wonderland, much like in the movie, is very maze-like, and you have to kind of find other alternative ways of thinking in order to navigate through it. So it's pretty interesting. We're joined midway through here.
Court is now in session.
I'm on trial? But why?
Her Majesty, the Queen of Hearts, presiding.
This girl is the culprit. There's no doubt about it. And the reason is... because I say so, that's why...
That is so unfair.
Well, have you anything to say in your defense?
Of course. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. You may be queen, but I'm afraid that doesn't give you the right to be so mean.
Silence! You dare defy me?
Hey guys, we should help her out.
Yeah, but
We're outsiders, so wouldn't that be muddling? Oh, yeah. And that's against the rules.
The court finds the defendant guilty as charged for the crimes of assault and attempted theft of my heart. Off with her head!
No! Oh, please! Hold it right there!
Poor Sora
Who
can't
are
help
you?
himself.
How dare you interfere with my court?
Excuse me, but we know who the real culprit is.
Uh-huh. It's the Heartland.
Anyway, she's not the one you're looking for.
That's nonsense. Have you any proof?
Bring me evidence of Alice's innocence. Fail and it's off with all your heads. Gather as much or as little evidence as you please. Report back here once you're ready. So we need to go prove Alice's innocence. So there are 4 pieces of evidence that we can find, but like the Queen said, we can find as many or as little as we want. So if we were doing a speed run or something like this, we would only get 1. But we want to make sure that Alice is proven innocent, so we're probably going to get all 4. So into this little maze we go. So one thing you'll notice... Oh, hold on. Oh boy, this guy. Who are you? Who indeed? Poor Alice, soon to lose her head, and she's not guilty of a thing. Hey, if you know who the culprit is, tell us. The Cheshire Cat has all the answers, but doesn't always tell. The answer, the culprit, the cat, all lie in darkness. Speaking of riddles as always, wait! They've already left the forest. I won't tell which exit. There are 4 pieces of evidence in all. 3 are a cinch to find. The 4th is tricky. Big reward if you find them all. Oh, we do like rewards. Should we trust him? To trust or not to trust. I'll trust you'll decide. Cheshire Cat. Goofy as always. They do a very good job kind of capturing the characters like how they were in the movie in this game. In general, I think they do a very good job. Really, the Disney Worlds is where this game stands out the most. And I think that that's the biggest hook of these games and what has helped make them so popular. But yeah, you'll notice as we go along and as we go to some of these, some more of these worlds, that a lot of the voice actors for the Disney characters are the original voice actors. Obviously, that's not the case here, because Alice in Wonderland came out in the 50s. Alright, make this bigger. We're not going to do that quite yet. Oh, I hear something. There we go. So, some recasting here, but all in all, pretty good job, I thought, with the recasting of the voices. So now the real game is going to be, will I be able to remember where everything is without too much frustration? Again, this is very maze-like, but we'll do our best here. So we have a trinity here. We sort of talked about that last time. This will be the first one we actually do, where when you have your main 3 here, you can, if you see these little marks on the ground, you can do trinities. Each color is a different trinity, and you unlock them as you go along. So right now we have blue, so we can do this one. That's Trinity Jump. And usually it's something like this. You just get some little items or sometimes some specialty items. Nothing too crazy, but always good to have. In this case, they're giving us a potion in ether specifically so we can deal with some of the puzzles that we have to do here. Right here is our first clue. Footprints. So we have 1 clue down. Give me a potion. Well, we just got a potion, so I guess we can give you a potion. Give it to the flower. Oh, and in return we get a high potion. Well, that's a nice trade-off. Take that trade all day. Jump up here, see if anything. Oh, we got some bad guys up here. Actually, we'll jump back up here in a second. Can you get over there? Nope. We're going to explore the rest of the lower level first here. So, we didn't really talk about it last time because my dumb face was covering it up, but on the bottom right there is our little meters there, and pretty simple to understand, but the green one that says HP, those are your hit points or health points. Pretty much when the green goes away, you are dead. Don't let that happen. The blue, the MP, is your magic points. We learned a magic spell from Donna last time, Fire, and as we use that, that magic bar will deplete. That little yellow bar on top of it almost acts as another blue portion. That's basically an additional part of your magic bar. It's a little confusing, but just know that basically right now where it looks like I have 2 blue squares, I kind of have 3. Alright, well, let's jump into the bazaar room here. Hey, look at that. More stench. That's a good clue to get. I love whenever you get stench. Alright. So the way that the Heartless spawns work in this game, if you defeat all of them and you go 1 room over, they stay defeated even if you come back. If you go, I believe it's 2 rooms over is when they respawn. So you'll never not have enemies if you need to find them. As you see, Donald's down, but now that the fight is over, he'll get back up in a second. At least he should. Alright, well, we're just going to walk away. I'll get up eventually. But as you can see, there he goes. But as you can see, when your partner's health goes down, you can keep going. They're just sort of out of the fight for a set number of time. Another perk at the save spots, they heal you up completely, your magic and your health. So always good to kind of get back to those every now and again. Alright, so we have 2 of the 4 clues. He said 3 were a cinch to find, so hopefully we can find that 3rd cinch. An ether. I believe I have an ether. I think I need to equip it first. Items. Exchange for an ether. Yep, I know. Alright, let's give the ether. And what are you going to give me? A camping set. The camping set is alright. A camping set basically does what just happened at the save point where it kind of heals everybody's party, but you can't use it in battle, which is why I'm not the biggest fan of them. If I use one at all in this run, it'd be surprising. Oh, there's a 3rd easy one. Antenna. Alright, so we have 3 of the 4, the 3 that we were told were a cinch, but now can we find the 4th, the more difficult one? First, let's see. Oh, nice save there, Sora. So, again, like I was saying a couple parts ago, the platforming in this game isn't the best. I'm going to keep doing that. And there's a lot of platforming in this level. There's really not a ton of Oh, our puppies. Alright, I'll get back to that point in a second. So the puppies, one of the little side quests we can do is we can try to find all 101 Dalmatians. They come in groups of 3, and they're scattered all throughout the world, and you get a bunch of rewards the more that you find. So that'll be something we're kind of keeping an eye on as we're going forward. I think we already went up there, right? I think that was the first entrance from before. Yes, it was. Alright, so we don't need to go there. I think we kind of want to get over there. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, no, we have to go over onto that side. Alright, so let's give a potion to you. Nope, need to equip one again. So again, one of the annoying parts of this game with the stocking of items. It's a little, not exactly user-friendly.
This should help.
Alright, this will make us big. So now we can do stuff when we're big, which I believe is going to be stepping on you. Oh, man. Made that nice and big. So again, this is basically just one big puzzle that we're going to slowly try to sort out here. Strike to spin. What am I striking to spin? I'm a little confused what I'm striking to spin. If there's supposed to be anything that I'm striking to spin. That doesn't appear to be anything. Alright, well, we're going to grab this. And we're going to bigify ourselves. Or smallify ourselves. We already bigified ourselves. So what am I saying? Alright, let's get our bearings. There we go. Okay, now I think we can jump across. Again, just a big old maze and a big old puzzle. But we are determined to figure it out. So we have to prove Alice's innocence. Though I have a hunch with the Queen the way that we know her to be, it may not matter. Oh, okay, we've fallen on this faucet. Hey, camera, you want to cooperate a little bit so I can see what I'm looking at? Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, yeah, I think we're going to try to get over there. There we go. Alright. Donald, look out. Can we reach it? Yes, we can. Claw marks. Here's our friend again. Well, look what you found. Nice going. Now we can save Alice. Don't be so sure. She may be innocent, but what about you? What do you mean? I won't tell, but I'll give you something. And we've attained the power of ice. We've learned Blizzard. It's our second spell. So we're actually, real quick, I'm going to jump into customize here. Actually, it's almost set up the way I want it. We're going to change that to blank at the moment. We'll put that to X. After years of playing this, I'm kind of used to a certain amount of shortcuts. And X for fire is always mine. So fire is, it's a fairly weak spell, but it's kind of like your long range spell. You just basically fire out Balls of Fire, pretty self-explanatory. Blizzard, I equate to sort of like your shotgun spell. It works very good when you're close range because it shoots out ice crystals. Works far less the further out that you go. Alright, so now that we have all 4 pieces of evidence, we're going to present to the Queen. Yep, we're ready. Council, step up to the podium. Oh, we will. Alright, let's present our evidence. Now, show me what you have found. There's our 4 pieces of evidence. Well, that's certainly a lot of evidence, but I'm still not impressed. See, I told you, we know too well how this is going to work. Cards, bring forth my evidence. Oh, so she's presented a 5th box. And now, checking all 5 would be a waste of time. Alright then, choose the one you wish to present. I'll decide who's guilty based on that evidence. What? After all the trouble collecting it? You dare object? Then you will lose your head. Now choose one box. So this is why getting more piece of evidence helps your case, because she's basically going to make this a guessing game. So there's always going to be 5 boxes. The question would become, though, what are your odds? So let's see. I like this one. Let's hope for the best. About as good as it's going to get. Let's hope that the odds are in our favor here. Now we shall see who the real culprit is. Come on, Heartless. Yeah, we guessed right. What in the world was that? There's your evidence. Alice is innocent. Arrgh. Silence! I'm the law here. Article 29. Anyone who defies the Queen is guilty! See, I said again, when you watch the movies, you know how this is going to go. That's crazy! Seize them at once! And now we found ourselves in a big old fight here because the Queen just can't take being wrong. So this fight's a little bit different than most fights, because we are going to be attacked by these cards here, but the cards aren't the fight. As you can see, they say, if they touch the tower, you lose your heads. The tower that I'm hitting, that's the real target. So that's what I'm going to focus my attack on. Now, you may be wondering what would have happened. This has been unusually easy. Nobody's even providing any fight so far. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we're getting over the fight. So you might have been wondering what would have happened if we didn't select the right box, if we accidentally selected her piece of evidence instead. What would have happened is it would have been proven to be, it would have shown us, basically, and Donald and Goofy would have been locked up for this fight. Which obviously is less than ideal, because then you would have had to do all of this by yourself. Which, as you can see, they're doing a pretty good job of distracting the cards, which is allowing me ample opportunity to beat up the tower and win that fairly easily. So that fight becomes a lot more difficult if you're by yourself. But with all 3 of us, pretty easy. So we've lowered Alice, but oh no, she's been taken. So now we've gone a little bit off the movie storyline at this point. She must have gotten kidnapped while we were fighting. You fools! Find the one who's behind this. I don't care how. And off they go. So what happened to Alice? So yeah, a lot of times, again, in these Disney worlds, for the most part, we are following the plot of the movies, but every now and again, we'll go a little bit off the beaten path, except obviously the Heartless are creating most of the problems, or at least the Heartless are working with the main villains to create the problems, as opposed to just the villains are bad guys. Alrighty, so now we have to try to go find Alice. But first, I did see that we got a very important ability, and that's Scan. I'm very happy with Scan. Scan is going to show us how much health our opponents who we're focused on have, which becomes very useful, and it's good to kind of get a gauge as to how you're doing in the fight. It's good that we got that before our boss fight that will be coming up relatively soon. It's our friend the Cheshire Cat again. Have you seen Alice? What are you doing? You're asking him. Alice? No. Shadows? Yes. Where did they go? This way, that way. Doesn't matter. See, that's why you never ask Cheshire Cat anything. He's just going to give you riddles the whole time. Left, right, up, down. All mixed up, thanks to the shadows. Step deeper into the forest to the deserted garden. You might find shadows in the upside down room. Alright, so we're going to be looking for the upside down room. Fun, fun. Oh, it's our first large body here. So as you can see, the large bodies, we cannot attack them from the front. We have to attack them from the back. They become a little problematic later on. This is our first enemy with like a decent amount of health. And as you can see, as he gets to low health, he kind of gets into this berserk mode where he hits you a lot harder. But Still not much of a problem for us in the meantime. Oh, we picked up a nice potion there. So now we're starting to see multi-level mobs, which basically just means that after we defeat one wave of enemies, another wave comes, and another wave, and another wave. But again, until the Heartless start proving to be a little more difficult, not too problematic. Now, you might have noticed there, Donald just hit those Red Crimson with a blizzard, and it completely obliterated them, because, much like in Pokemon, the elements are weak to corresponding elements. Now, it's a little bit weird, because ice is weak to fire, as we all know fire melts ice, but ice is weak to fire. Excuse me. Yes, ice is weak to fire. Fire is weak to ice. So on and so forth. Now, if I were to hit these Red Crimson with my fire spell, it would actually heal them. So we definitely don't want to do that. Donald can sometimes be a pain for doing that a little bit later. But in the meantime, he only has 2 spells, so he can't cause too many problems. Alrighty, we're still just working our way through here. Again, while we have some of these weaker enemies, it's good to just kind of whack them a little bit, try to build up some more experience. That way we can get more tools at our disposal. Already we're in way better shape than we were even in our last boss fight, as we have dodge roll, which you can see there, which is a nice tool to avoid getting hit, which we didn't really have last time. We have scan, so we're starting to move up in the world. Oh, we know this place. A little mad tea party. She says here, a very merry unbirthday. You know, it's fascinating because today is my unbirthday, and we've come across this where they've wished me a merry unbirthday. I don't know how they knew, but I'm glad that they did. I appreciate the thanks. I remember when I was doing my review of Alice in Wonderland. Oh, I'll get back to that in a second. They're hiding somewhere. And a Mamorath's outgrabe. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Want to find the shadows? Try turning on the light. I will. So anyway, I remember when I was doing my my Alice in Wonderland review, I opened it by saying that today was my unbirthday. And I don't know if people either didn't quite pick up on the joke that I was making, or if I mumbled, or like I wasn't clear in my diction or something. The amount of people who were wishing me a happy birthday was fascinating. I guess I just missed the joke. So what can you do? These things happen sometimes. So Wonderland, definitely one of the stranger of the Disney classics. But I do personally, though, like the animated one better than the live-action one. I mean, it might just be... I don't even know if that's just my opinion. I don't know how people typically feel about the live-action one. I thought it was a little out there. A little too out there for me. I don't mind a little bit of out there, but... Because, like, I don't know, that movie sort of lost... No, sort of lost the kind of silliness of Wonderland, and trying to make it, I thought, a little too serious. Alright, so we're trying to jump on that little table there. That's what should be easier to do. There we go. Alright, so we said to turn on the light. And there's one light. Oh, hi there. Too dim, make it brighter. What next? Oh, come on. One more lamp, you need the light. I love how what next, like that's supposed to be a big puzzle. It's right there, we see it. And there we go, 2 lamps. All the lights are on, you'll see the shadows soon. They'll arise in this room, but somewhere else. The shadows might go after that doorknob too. So it looks like we're gonna have to go back to the doorknob to find the shadows that he's referring to. So let's head back to the Queen's Castle here. Go see what he is referring to. Well, first, we're on this little hedge here. Is anything up here? Oh, yes, there is. Oh, Thundara G. So anytime you see something that says G, that means it's a gummy. So that's a part of the gummy ship that we can add if we wanted to customize our gummy ship. Now, you can see over there, there's another chest, but there's seemingly no way for us to get it. And that's because at the moment, there is no way for us to get it. One of the things Kingdom Hearts likes to have you do is travel back to old worlds with new abilities to try to get some more of the treasures and things. You technically don't have to travel back to, I think, any of the worlds if you just want to complete the game. But if you want to get everything, if you want to do 100% and all that stuff, then you have to go backtrack a little bit. Alright, so we've saved. We're actually going to add some items in here because we're, spoiler alert, we're prepping for a bit of a fight here. So we're going to put on our high potions. We'll just leave that potion there. Leave the elixir for now. I don't think we need it yet. Alright. We're about as prepared as we're going to be. So we're going to save one more time just so we have all of our equipment there. Alright. Let's go see where these shadows are that we're talking about. You'll have a better view from higher up. He's just leading us into this, isn't he? Just egging us on. Alright, now we're up on the table. What do you want now, cat? The shadow should be here soon. Are you prepared for the worst? If not, too bad. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And here comes the Trick Master. So we have our big boss here of Alice in Wonderland. So he's kind of a pain in the Trick Master because he's a little hard to hit. As you can see, his target area is up on his chest, but you can't really hit his feet. So for the most part, we have to try to get on the table in order to hit him. So that's what we're going to try to do here. There we go. There's a good shot. And we see we stunned him, we brought him down to our level, and now we can do some good damage on him. Okay. So the problem is, though, is that sometimes a Trick Master with his little batons there, he can hit things like the table and completely flatten it into the floor, which then makes it even harder to hit him. Like, as you saw, he just took out that chair. So now it's a little bit harder to get him, and as you can see, we are currently struggling a little bit. I'm going to try some magic here. That's not doing anything. I'm not even sure if I'm hitting him with that. Oh man, we're having some problems right here. He's just wailing us. Down goes Donald. You will see that often. Donald does not have a lot of health and is typically not long for this world, especially in big fights. Alright, we're having a little... There we go. Okay, so we can just jump up on this table. There we go. And we get a big shot there, and he's down again. We're going to punish and do some damage here. So my face is covering his health a little bit, but you see he has 2 full bars of health, so he's definitely one of the beefier enemies we've come across so far. Our table is spinning, which is making focusing on him a little difficult, but we're making do. So we're almost through his first bar of health. Oh, swinging wildly. Yeah, so Donald, unfortunately, like I was saying, he gets knocked out a lot in these fights. He is useful in fights, especially later on when we learn a spell called Cure, which is a healing spell. But again, that's sort of the trade-off, is while he has a ton of magic and can do spells like Cure very easily, he's usually not around very much a glass cannon, so... Oh, he's heading over to set his little sticks on fire, so that's a problem. Now he has projectiles, which I'm sure we will be seeing very soon. Oh, there they come, and got hit by it immediately. So that's why before, when I was trying to use some magic on him, I was using Blizzard and not Fire. You can actually set his little things on fire and give him these projectiles early if you do Fire. Oh, I was trying to see if I could beat him to the punch there. Not quite. Yeah, Trick Master is a very annoying boss just because he's very hard to hit. Oh. Alright, we're going to heal ourselves again real fast while we have a little time here. I'm going to use this chair to block. Oh, too early. I thought he was out. Oh man, we cannot get this guy away. Oh, he's got a shot in there at least. We're going to hide ourselves real fast. Hide. And down goes Donald again, so now I'm just the focus of his ire. So now it's a little bit tough because both of my party members are down. Oh, I'm getting blasted. Okay, we need to heal up. So now I'm out of potions. Oh, Goofy's back at least, so that's good. Oh my goodness, we just cannot get a shot on him. Oh, we bent down to that one. Alright, we're going to try to stay close to him here. Let's see if maybe we can... There we go. Okay, down he goes again. He's stunned. We're getting there. We're almost there. Alright, we're just going to stay on him here, because it seems like he's shooting way less if I'm close by, and I'm having more success physically blocking him than I was far away. Plus, my table's gone, and we just realized. Oh, we're right at the end here. Now, I can't remember if it's this Kingdom Hearts or the next one where you have to finish. It must be the next one where you have to finish them on a critical strike, because I definitely didn't on this one. But down goes the Trickmaster. It's a lengthy fight, an annoying fight. Got a little hairy there, but we got through it. Boom! Another one down. For its horn, of course, that's a piece of equipment we might be able to equip in a moment.
What a racket. How's a doorknob to get any sleep?
Of course, the doorknob has a keyhole in it. What was that? You hear that? It sounded like something closed. Oh, and we have a little gummy here. That gummy ain't like the others, no sir. Okay, I'll hold on to it. Navi G piece. We'll find out what that is later. We'll really find out a lot more about that in a minute. Oh, here's our friend again. Splendid! You're quite the hero. You should talk. You set us up for that. If you're looking for Alice, she's not here. She's gone! Off with the shadows, into darkness. No! Let's go back to our gummy ship. We might find her in another world. We've got to go to a save point to return to our ship. So you might be wondering what all that was. That's sort of the goal of what we're doing here at Kingdom Hearts. Trying to lock keyholes. You'll find out more about that as the story goes along, but just know that's kind of what we're looking for when we go to each of these worlds, is locking the keyholes. We're going to save one more time so that we don't have to do that fight again. And then we're going to jump on our gummy ship. Alright, so again, we could go here, where it's battle level 3, or we could go here, where it's 2. Oh, and our first trophy, the rabbit hole, for locking the keyhole. Oh, I'm going to get into trophies. Actually, you know what? So we're going to drive back Traverse Town. We're going to head over to here, our battle level 2 instead of 3. Unfortunately, to do that, we have to go to Traverse Town first and then swing around, so... Oh, man, so trophies. So, as you guys might be able to tell if you follow my normal channel, where I'm going through all of the Disney movies in order. I'm a bit of a kind of obsessive completionist, and that also follows me through my video games. I am absolutely a completionist. I not only try, I usually succeed in 100%ing almost every game, just about every game that I play. If you ever find my PlayStation profile, you will see it is pretty close to 100% because I just actively try to do every bit I can in these games, including my Kingdom Hearts games. I don't know whether I will 100% it all in this series, but I certainly will in my own time and make sure I get all the trophies and all that good stuff, which means I'll be doing a lot of these gummy missions as time goes along. But yeah, with that first trophy popping up, it seemed like an appropriate time to mention my obsession with trophies. And I guess while we're talking about my video game habits, let's talk about some other games that I like. So like I've said before, Kingdom Hearts is probably my favorite game franchise of all time. It's probably the one that I've played the most. At least in terms of the individual game, how many times I've played like Kingdom Hearts 1 over and over and over again. But another game, so when I was growing up, I really loved Sonic. I had a Sega Genesis, and I had a million games of that. I had an NES, because I'm old, and I had a bunch of games like that. So I had a bunch of those usual games. Well, here's Traverse Town, but we're just going to keep on rolling here. Hey, we completed the mission without even trying. And we got another trophy. Beautiful. I love accidental trophies. They're the best. Alright, we're just going to keep on rolling here. I'm going to head over to here. Alright. So yeah, I played a lot of your standards growing up. Sonic, Mario, all that good stuff. And then, like I was saying last time, as I got older, I got into PlayStation. I've had every version of PlayStation, PS1, 2, 3, and 4. And especially since I got the PS4... really, since I started living by myself in New York, I've really gotten more into gaming. I do a lot of solo gaming. I'm terrible in multiplayer games. I think a lot of people are, but I'm especially terrible in multiplayer games. So yeah, I play a lot of solo games. I love the Uncharted series, played through all of those, and loved every second of that. Recently I played Horizon Zero Dawn, really like that. I just wrapped up, I was playing the Spyro series and Crash. I love those old school platformers and all those. Those are always fun. I love the Ratchet and Clank games, so that can kind of give you an idea of the types of games that I like. You know, I like, you know, like some third-person shooters and third-person action games. I like my platformers, my little cartoon platformers. Again, shocking that someone like me would like they're cartoon-like games, but sometimes you are what people expect you to be. Also, I don't know about you guys, but at least here it is freezing cold. That's why I'm all bundled up, if you couldn't tell. It's a solid, I think it's like -1 degrees outside. At least that's what it was this morning. It got to a balmy 2 by the afternoon. And I'm not even that far north anymore. You know, I used to work in upstate New York, so I know a thing or two about cold. And this was still pretty legitimately cold. I actually even had work canceled the other day because I work for a university, and the university was closed due to how cold it was, because they didn't want people walking outside. So there you go. Not something I don't think I've ever experienced, school being closed due to cold, but that shows you just how ridiculously cold it was. Alright, we're coming up on our next world here. Oh, it took a shot at the end there. Coming up on our next world here. Hercules! Or rather, Olympus Coliseum. Disembark here. Oh, the Coliseum. The first of many trips to the Coliseum, both in this game and others. Alrighty. So let's run on up here real fast. I see a little trophy, or I see a trophy, not trophy, treasure chest over here. Mega potion, nice, nice. Oh, a little Trinity. Let's jump on this one real fast. Oh, a nice little box. What do we got here? I think I know. Oh, I don't know. It's a Mithril shard. I thought it might have been puppies. I don't know who decided to put puppies in a box like that. It's probably Corella, but we all know she's the worst. And actually, before we jump inside, I think we're going to call it for this episode. We're just about at time. We don't want to get too invested in our next part. So, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, youtube.com/JTDGgaming. Make sure you subscribe to my home channel, youtube.com/Joe the Disney Guy. You can follow me on Twitter @JoeDisneyGuy. And if you like this series and you want to see all of it, or if you want to see my other video game series as they happen, if you want to be on the front lines of the video game series, be sure to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Joe the Disney Guy. And I will see you all back here real soon.